I'm going to look at you a lot more. Hi guys, I want to thank you guys for coming out tonight. How many of you guys know anything about Palestine? That is awesome. That was 7 hands. And 14 Arabs didn't raise their hands. Okay, awesome. So, has anybody, how many people have this t-shirt? Raise your hand if you have this t-shirt and you're just not wearing it. A lot of people are already rocking it. Does anybody know what the Maia Project is? Does anybody know? Okay, we got one hand raised. Anybody know Mecca, the Middle East Children's Alliance? No? California-based, right? They're San Francisco, Berkeley? Okay. Basically, what you have you have Gaza, the Gaza Strip. You have 1.5 million people living in the world's largest open-air prison. Then there's this thing called a siege. Israel slapped one on the Gaza Strip. That kind of screws with the population. Maia is Arabic for water. So what you have during the Gaza war in 08 and 09, where 1,400 Palestinians were killed in 22 days, you had Israel bombing water treatment facilities. Then you have a siege that was already in place. So in terms of filtration systems, in terms of getting clean water, over 90% of the water that is in the Gaza Strip is considered unsuitable for consumption. I think it's like 80 or 85% you're not even supposed to shower with it or use it in like daily use beyond consumption. So what Mecca did was start the Maia Project, and it was basically a way to call attention to the situation in Palestine as it pertains to water. Okay, if you know like anything about Palestine, raise your hand. Yeah, okay, that's enough people. Basically, 780,000 Palestinians were displaced in 1948 to make form for the creation of the State of Israel. Unfortunately, my grandparents were part of that 780,000. So they were living on their land, and they're like, hey, you guys, we need your shit, so we're going to come and kick you out of your homes, and we're going to put guns against your head, and if you don't, we're going to shoot you in the face. My grandparents were like, well, that's not very nice, so we're going to bounce. So this poem is called Coexistence, and so they always say, well, if the Palestinians and Israelis can only come together and blah, blah, blah. And it's so silly because it's like, I don't want to meet with a KKK member. I don't want to hug segregation out of the system. I don't want to hug away apartheid. I want to work against oppression. Now, for me, I'm not an ethnocentrist. I'm not a nationalist. Anybody that wants to work with me, I'm down. But it has to be fighting for people's human rights. So this is called coexistence, and it's combating the CNN bullshit that if the Palestinians come to the table, give up 90% of their homeland, negotiate for the next 100 years, stay in Bantustans and ghettos, maybe Israel will have peace 100 years from now. I'm not really a fan of that, so I wrote this poem called Coexistence. My voice is going to die in 10 minutes. What's going on? How are you? Why'd you come out tonight? Sweet. He threw that in, and that was improv. He's like, I didn't come out for you. I came out for the band. I knew I was going to bounce, but if you didn't come off stage, I probably would have left. Okay, just kidding. It's called coexistence. Silence is golden. Okay. Are you a doctor?
Yes. No, I'm not a doctor.
Shut off the phone. If my phone goes off, I'm going to be rude. I don't want to coexist. Not like good guys and bad guys and true lies and propaganda. Put on blackface as cab drivers or deli owners in your racist comedies. Not bomb your Dunkin' Donuts with my keffiyeh, fist pound Fox News, or let you steal my food and call it Israeli salad. I won't mess with his own hand or let him turn the rocks of Palestinian children into balloon animals while Israeli soldiers snipe our children's heads, shoulders, knees, and stomachs. Hollywood snipes years of young ones with lovable tales of blue and white heroes. I'm not looking for your approval, not a token role or job on my knees scrubbing toilets in Israel's Congress. I'd rather fight with blacks and Latinos against oppression than concede to a mainstream plantation that sees me as other unless I'm checking a college application. I don't believe in the tooth fairy or 2,000 claims of homes you supposedly deserved when people resurrected and walked on water. I'll exist in a world that fights against racism like Martin and Malcolm. Please ghetto tales of Stephen Biko as a song that never dies, no matter what apartheid makes of our bodies, feeds mouths in Belfast streets, and resurrects Bobby Sands' message so that we'll never be hungry again. And whether you know it or not, I'm the best solution you have. One man asking for one vote, telling you to look at the sea, and I'll never drive you into it. I'll never return the favor. I'm not outstretching an olive branch and a rifle. I'm extending reality, because being surrounded by so-called enemies on your borders is easier than in your towns and election centers. We may not be brothers, but this neighborhood has made us cousins. I don't want to coexist. I want to exist as a human being, and justice will take care of the rest.
hold me like the river Jordan, and I will then say to thee, you are my friend. Carry me like you were my brother. Love me like a mother. Will you be there? Yeah. Whoa, whoa. Tell me, will you hold me? Long will you scold me? Lost will you find me? But they told me a man should be faithful and walking on April and fight till the end, but I'm only human. Seems like the world's got a role for me. I'm so confused, will you show to me? You'll be there for me and care enough to bear me. I'm only
धमक धमक गुंजे बदरा के धमके चमक चमक देखो बिजली चमके मन धड़काए बदरवा मन धड़काए बदरवा मन धड़काए बदरवा पचक दुम दुम 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 पचक दुम पानी तो बरसा पचक दुम पचक दुम पचक दुम पचक दुम पचक दूधों के पानी चलाओ पचक 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 ओहो पचक पचक आहा पचक 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 दुविधा के दिन बीत गए भैया मल्हार सुनावो घन घन गिर गिर आए बदरा घन घन जोर कार जाए बदरा धमक धमक तुझे बदरा के झमके चमक चमक देखो बिजली चमके मन धड़काए बदरवा मन धड़काए बदरवा पचक दुम दुम पचक दुम दुम पचक दुम दुम पचक दुम दुम रस अगर बरसेगा कौन फिर तरसेगा कोयलियां गाएगी बैठी मलेरों पर जो मर्जी गाएंगे आएंगे उजाले मुस्कुरा देंगे चेहरों पर प्रेम की बरखा में भीगेंगे धरती पर चमकेंगे पानी धमक धमक तुझे बदरा के धमके चमक चमक देखो
Pol Pot, J. Edgar Hoover, Dick Nixon, Pat Robertson, Billy Graham, Billy Corgan, Hank Williams, Andy Warhol, and Lady Gaga. I teach them about TV, color TV, fighter jets, cell phones, smoke detectors, liposuctions, computers, the internet porn, video poker, and iPods. I'd inform them that the whole segregation thing was retarded, as was polio, the Hardy Boys, the 3 R's, county fairs, sports on the radio, and dying of the flu. I'd show them how to sterilize surgical tools, sterilize pets, sterilize husbands, floss their teeth, breakdance, sing Beatles songs, use fabric softener, and recycle cardboard. I'd be regarded by historians as America's greatest prophet, having taught my people the secrets of the universe. As it is, though, I'm already one of Tippecanoe County's finest drunks, having taught countless burgeoning alcoholics how to hold their shit. It's a start. This next poem is called Answering Machine, or The Delicate Art of Winning Back an Ex-Girlfriend Over the Phone When She Refuses to Pick Up. It's the 11th time tonight I've called and gotten her machine, but instead of leaving a message, I keep listening to the new boyfriend's voice repeating, "We're not able to come to the phone right now, but if you leave your name and number, we'll get back to you in a jiff." I finally leave a message and wait for a jiff to expire, thinking about the one time I met the guy and how he kept calling me sport. I remember the time he called, furious, after reading a poem I had published about a gay porn star who happened to share his name. I wonder how long a jiff could possibly last and begin to imagine what the two of them are doing, but quickly realize it's better I don't. I decide to call again, and as the phone rings, I debate whether calling an ex-girlfriend 12 times in a night is weird. I decide no, it's not, because I have something very important to discuss with her. On the 6th ring, she picks up and answers with the most beautiful "what" I've ever heard. I start reading her a poem I had written that day about a guy who gives his girlfriend AIDS, which he contracted during a brief stint as a gay porn star. Halfway through the poem, I hear her phone click off, so I press redial, because I want her to hear the end, where the AIDS-ridden gay porn star boyfriend dies in a freak teeth whitening accident. As the phone switches to the answering machine, I smile, knowing it's just a matter of time before she realizes she's made a huge mistake and comes running back to me. Thanks. Yeah, it's sweet. I like to see you smile. Smiley butts. You know. Alright, this next one's called I Was an Ugly 10-Year-Old. Didn't get a lot better. At Camp Little Eagle that summer, on a lake we weren't allowed to swim in, I had my very own camp counselor since I was the only kid in my age group. His name was Anthony. He was a 25-year-old boot camp dropout, and he was my best friend. We'd hike all around the lake, piss on barns, play poker, start fires, watch movies, shoot hoops, cuss, rock out, everything. I don't recall a happier time in my life. But like most things, that summer slid away. Anthony still called occasionally, but after a few months, he stopped, fading like the newspaper I found years later, with his face on the front page, buckling under the weight of the headline, "Warsaw YMCA counselor pleads guilty to molestation charges." I sat there stunned, thinking about how he'd been my best friend, and how he'd never touched me. To this day, I'm still not sure whether to be thankful I'd been spared, or offended that I wasn't. brand spanking new. You're the first people to hear it. Yeah! I got more excited. But no, it's brand new. I wrote it about getting drunk and thinking my girlfriend's hot. It's called it's called I Vodka Lust You. I vodka lust you with the grace of a paraplegic falling down the stairs. Beer lust is dancing, laughing, and kissing hard in between cigarettes. Vodka lust is crawling into bed, already naked and trying to shake you awake. Wine lust involves thoughtful, soft nuance. Soft lighting, soft music, soft kisses. Vodka lust involves just one maddeningly soft thing. Whiskey lust is me whispering half-remembered poetry at you, saying, I want to do to you what spring does to the cherry trees. Vodka lust makes me mumble things like, did you know I got my first handjob before my first kiss? Which, by the way, sounds hilarious in a Cockney accent. Beer lust works minimum wage so it can take you out. Vodka lust steals vodka so it can get you drunk. Wine lust is the Klimt print hanging on the wall. Vodka lust is the hole it conceals. Whiskey lust is a quarter's wish flipped into a well. Vodka lust is 2 pennies on a train track the train crushes into one. Aww. Aww. Ain't that sweet? Thanks. I have one more and then I'll get out of here. This is called How I Got Good at Math. Yeah, if you know the words, sing along. How I got good at math. When I was 3 or 4, my dad would always give me these math worksheets to do, and I could never do them because I was only 3 or 4. So he got it in his head that I was some sort of math retard, and decided that the only way to save me was to send me to this local Catholic school that apparently had very impressive test scores. It's important to realize that my dad wasn't religious, and before going to this school, I had never heard a word about Christianity or God. And so, knowing that I was being sent there to get good at math, the first day I walked into Sacred Heart Preschool, I was immediately confronted by this massive statue of a guy being nailed to a plus sign. It scared the shit out of me, and I knew that it meant these people took math very seriously. So I tried to keep extra hard on all my math assignments. Thank you.